YouTube, what's going on, Facebook, and all those other good places. It's me, Kev from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make some sense out of all of this nonsense. And I am back, just about to do that. So, if you are just joining the show, let me take care of a couple things here I didn't anticipate having to do. Okay, sorry about that, y'all. However, while I'm taking care of this, you guys can help me take care of something else by letting me know if you got sound and if you can actually hear me. So, if you are on YouTube and you're able to hear me, let me see. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and type something to myself. Hey, Kev from Kev. Now let's see if I see that. Bam. Yep. Hey, Kev from Kev. Oh, yeah. Somebody says I hear y'all. That's what I'm talking about. Is it cheating that I'm watching my own show? That's what I want to know. Am I cheating? All right. So we got a couple things to talk about, guys. Since, it's been a couple days. I've been MIA working on some other things. Before we get started, please do me a favor and subscribe to my new channel. Like, you all are subscribed to this one, which is great. But this one is also connected to Kevin's Corner, which, I didn't find this out until later that YouTube was able to, find a connection. So I had to get a VPN and all of that stuff. So I opened up another one called KC 2.free. Okay, not 3, free. All right, KC 2.free. If somebody out there has the link that you can put in the chat so people can see it, please do that for me. Oh, you know what though? I might be able to do it, y'all. Hold on. Wait a minute now. Wait a minute now. Wait a minute now. See, you sometimes you got to get more clever than these jive turkeys out there who just be playing us. All right, so let me see something here. Let me see. Don't go nowhere, y'all. Just stay right there, right there. Okay, so here it is. Now all I got to do is copy. Or maybe it ain't that simple. Hold on. I think it is. I think it might be share. Copy, go back to this, and bam, wait a minute. Oh, I just pasted the link in there from Kevin's Corner. So if you are checking out the live show, you will see the link pop up in there to the new channel that I'm trying to build up quickly. So please do me a favor and subscribe to that, because once we hit 1,000 subscribers, we'll be rolling. And let's see if we can get the channel to jumpstart again, because you know what happened to Kev's Corner. They let me hit about 212 or 11,000. Then they said, nah, we can't have this brother out there talking like that. We can't have that. So they start putting their foot on my back because I'm black and conservative. It's not just because I'm black. I'm black and conservative, because if I was a liberal, my channel would have 1,700 kabillion zillion million subscribers. That's what would happen. Now, with no further ado, let's get ready to get into some stuff. We got a lot to talk about. Let's see here. Oh, let me get loose here. I gotta get loose. What? Like a real gorilla. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. There's some kings in the building. Do your best, let me show some respect. Gorillas in here, gorilla in here. Gorilla in here, gorillas in here, gorilla in here. Yeah, that's right, man. Now, don't forget, share my videos, follow me, subscribe, make sure you're still subscribed, all of that stuff. Get the word out, you name it. Check out the podcast, all that stuff. Now, I think starting tomorrow, I will have my Kevin's Corner back up. I think. I was supposed to get 2 weeks, man. It's been the longest 2 weeks in my life. They play too much. So I will be on my live show tomorrow. If for whatever reason they're not going to open me back up to do it tomorrow, it'll probably be the next day, okay? Somebody said no channel link. I put it in the chat, the live chat. Just find me in the live chat, scroll down, and find Kevin's Corner, and I put the link there. Or did I? Make sure. Now, I want to make sure y'all got it. Make sure. Let me see. Let me double check my own work. Okay, where am I here? Kevin. Yeah. You know what? I'm wait. I don't see it either. Wait a minute. Why isn't the link showing up? That's what I want to know. Huh. That's odd. Anybody else? That's crazy, y'all. Did y'all see it? All right, hold on. All right, we about to settle this right now. We about to settle this right now. Okay, hold on. Don't move. Don't move. Everybody stay still. Stay still. All right, let's go to this. Bam. And let's go to this. Okay. And then let's go to this. And finally, go back over here. And you'll see me put it right in here, paste, and send. All right. Now, let's see. There it is. It came up for KC 2.3 right there. So I sent it from my other channel, KC 2.3. All right. So if you are in the chat, make sure before it's over with, you click on that link so we can get it popping over there. All right. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and get the party started because it's about to get real in the next couple of days. Starting off, though, with stupid
There's
behind.
There's not a Fortune 500 company in the world looking to hire a CEO in his 80s.
Yeah.
So why would an 82-year-old Joe Biden be the right person for the most important job in the world?
See, and that's a good question. A question that Joe Biden should have been answering with his family. Somebody said it's not there. I saw it. I mean, let me see. Let me make sure. Let's see. No channel link. Some of the chats ain't even popping up. What's up with that? No channel link. No channel link. YouTube. YouTube. All right, before we get done, I'll try to post it again. Right now, I ain't gonna meddle with it. So just hang in there. We'll go ahead and figure it out another way. Now, yeah, that's a good question that Joe really can't answer because he don't know why he's running again. I'm pretty sure in his contract it was a one-term deal. I'm pretty sure they're like, all right, Joe, yeah, you're way over the hill. You're special already. You can't win this on your own. We're pretty much going to go ahead and put you in office. And all you got to do is let us have complete control to wreak havoc over the whole country. And I guess he's like, okay, you're going to make me president. So now, for whatever reason, maybe Joe thinks he's done a good job. Now, if that's the case, that is delusion at its highest. I mean, he's like a baby who thinks they're walking, but the whole time the parent is holding their arms and the baby's just getting it. Big old steps, thinking, look at me, I'm doing stuff. And the whole time the parent is helping the baby. So this guy, for whatever reason, decided to run. And I'm amazed that his family didn't pull him to the side and say, Dad, maybe you should sit this one out. Because technically you didn't really win the first one. But I guess they're just going to go along with it. So let's see his response and his very eloquent response to this question.
Because I have acquired a hell of a lot of wisdom.
Really?
I know more than the vast majority of people. I'm more experienced than anybody's ever run for the office.
Is that true? That man said he's acquired a heck of a lot of wisdom. Okay, well, let's see where these wisdom teeth are taking him.
My younger sister used to be 3 years younger than me. Now she's 23 years younger. There's not a single solitary Biden man that is younger than any Biden woman. We set new standards. We slashed methane and brought over 100 nations together when I was at the big meeting we had.
Now, was that a glitch? Was that a glitch in the Matrix? Was it a glitch in the broadcast? I don't know. Did he just get jammed up at that? Sound like a typewriter. Tat 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 tat. Somebody tap dancing inside of his esophagus. Tat 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 tat. So there he is talking about that. But he has acquired a lot of wisdom. Yeah, I thought you had to have brains to have some wisdom. So there he is, caught up on that.
In Europe. Because I have acquired a hell of a lot of wisdom.
Whoa.
We're going to seize their yachts, their luxury homes, and other ill-begotten gains of Putin's kleptocracy.
Do this again.
Yeah.
It's a glitch in the Matrix. It's a glitch in the Matrix. Yeah. He didn't even finish that one. That man just gave up on that word right there. On the. Yeah. There it is. That sounds real wise, Joe. The wisdom would tell you to sit down. See, the difference between knowledge and wisdom is with wisdom, you're able to apply the knowledge that you have. Now, if you know that you're blew out and you know that you really didn't win on your own the first time, they had to have COVID, they had to have a whole bunch of other stuff that helped this man get in. If you know that and your family knows that. Somebody should be wise enough to say, well, what am I going to do with the information that I know? Am I going to apply it or ignore it? So if you're wise, you would say, let me apply what I know. Okay. If you're not wise, you'll say, man, forget that. I'm going to go for what I know. And now you're going to get what you know. So you're going to get Joe. That's what you're going to get. So here he is talking about, I got a lot of wisdom. If you know you got a drinking problem, then wisdom says, don't go work in a brewery. Don't go be a bartender. You got a drinking problem. But if you just know you got a drinking problem, you don't apply the wisdom to it. Oh, I think I can handle it. I'm pretty self-controlled. No, you're not. You're not that great. And so Joe right here apparently either doesn't know his own condition, which could be a possibility, but it's bigger than Joe. It's who is in his camp that is allowing this man to go forward. And we're looking at these clips of him going that.
A hell of a lot of wisdom. My legislation says there can be no more than 8 bullets in a round. Mm-hmm. Okay? And no more than the best.
Y'all hear that? He know more than us. The vast majority of people. You can't have more than 8 bullets in a round. You understand that? That's like my boy's dad. I don't care if they're girl or female. Wait a minute. Hold on. Yeah, see, he says stuff like that too. You mean to tell me you hit a parked car that wasn't even moving? That's how Joe is talking right there. So 8 bullets in a round.
Vast majority of people have more experience than anybody's ever run for the office. And one more thing.
One more?
I know how to say the word union.
What is the...
Wow. So there you have it. That's their champion. They're sticking out there. Now, he got some competition. I heard R.F. Kennedy wants to run against him. And for whatever reason, the Democrats are trying to sabotage R.F. Kennedy running against him. And quiet as kept. As I listen to R.F. Kennedy, he actually has some sense. I don't even understand why this man is a Democrat. There's a couple of them that I say, man, what are you doing? When are you going to break from this nasty, stinking, corrupt, dirty, funky, poop smelling, doo-doo brown party and go over there where some people got some sense, man? So some of the things that RFC was talking about, I'm saying, thank you. We don't need to be over there in a war unnecessarily. You know, we shouldn't be getting forced into lockdowns. We shouldn't be attacking freedom of speech. We shouldn't be desecrating the middle class. I mean, this guy, he got probably a better shot than any of the rest of them because he's a common sense person, especially if they were really trying to target the middle class. But see, here's the thing. They're trying to desecrate the middle class. They don't want an RFC in there for the simple fact they're globalists. And he appears to be a person that says we want to be sovereign. So he's not going to work for them. So you can see him already setting the stage to make sure he don't get a shot at the title, which brings me to Trump. So guys, Trump is going to be on CNN tomorrow, y'all. Now we got our brace for pretty much anything. No telling what they're going to pull. Apparently they're not going to do their normal sabotage, where he comes on, all right, come on out, Mr. Trump. All right, so let's get on right into it. Are you racist still? Are you still a white nationalist? How many people did you send back to Africa? Did you, how many pieces of ice cream did you eat and then give nobody else none? What about all the lies you've told? See, instead of them doing that, apparently they're going to allow the audience to do that. But the question then becomes, how balanced is the audience? Did y'all drop a couple moles in the audience so they can ask those stupid questions? But apparently the people on View got a problem with it. Now here they're always talking about fascism. They're always talking about all that stupidity. And here they are about to say Trump shouldn't even be allowed to come on. And here's the reasons.
Point of this new town hall that he's doing. And did we learn nothing from Les Moonves saying bad for the country, but great for the network?
Well, thank you. I missed you all too. It's been a good about 6 days or so. So I just want to say it's good to be back. And I really can't wait to get back on my other channel. So we got to go hard once I get back on that other channel, y'all. Spreading it. I had to delete all of my live shows. So all I have is just pre-recorded videos on that channel. But we got to watch them. We got to spread them. We got to like them. We got to do a lot of work, man, because they're doing a lot of work to make sure there's no growth and no word getting out there. So now here's Rocks in the Voice coming out. Here's the cushion breaking wind all on the set. talking about something. What is with this new town hall meeting? Okay, let's see why she don't want the town hall meeting to go down.
Well, that's what I'm so disgusted by, because again, when someone shows you who they are, you
Like
believe
you?
them. When you show that you are an insurrectionist, that you're a liar, that you're a bigot.
Wow. This is the stuff right here that blows my mind. Either she's extremely dumb or extremely evil. And it also appears that she's not able to do self-inventory. Everything that she just listed, I'm going, oh, wait a minute now. You support all of that stuff, whether it's directly or indirectly. Meaning this, I'm going to have to help her out.
Country, but great for the network.
Well, that's what I'm so disgusted by.
Okay.
Because again, when someone shows you who they are, you believe them. When you show that you are an insurrectionist.
Democrats, right there, all of them, with doing all the stuff they did to infiltrate our democracy and our voting process. And then all of those folks that just got sprinkled in that crowd, those 40 that we know of, all of that stuff was planned and put together. That right there is an insurrection. But she's too dumb or blinded to even recognize that. She's calling the man who wanted to give more security on J6 the insurrectionist. She's calling the man who said, go over and let your voices peacefully be heard, an insurrectionist. Yeah, she's calling him the insurrectionist while overlooking dang on Bigfoot Gorilla Capital. Overlooking all of these suspicious people. I did a video about the mysterious woman in the window. We still don't know who she was with the floor plans. Go down the hall, make a left. So here she is talking about an insurrectionist. What else she calling me?
That you're a liar.
Joe Biden. I grew up in a black church. You know what? I pretty much was raised by Puerto Ricans. And I'm Jewish. And all of these lies this dude tells. They used to follow every single lie that they felt Trump said, even if it wasn't a lie. They would have had little Brian Stelter on watch. Whole job was to be sitting there like, I think I can make that sound like a lie. All right. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I think I can make that sound like a lie. Oh, let me see if I can do it. That's what they did constantly. So Joe Biden, out of all the videos constantly being dropped out there about this dude's lies, this woman is calling Trump a liar. That means she don't even take 1 second to look at the Democrats and evaluate their behavior. She's so blinded or either paid to be this way that she don't even stop for a second to say, let me keep up with the current information concerning Biden so I can at least appear to sound balanced or fair. What happens if somebody come on the show and say, you just called Trump a liar? Okay, Joe Biden lied about A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and you can go through the whole alphabet. I wonder how she would respond. And she'd probably try to make it appear that you're lying about Joe Biden lying. That's how sold out these folks are. Now, well, you're lying about Joe. Joe's not a liar. You're the liar. No, I just told you. Look, he was lying before he even became. Remember back in the day he had to drop out because of lies. And here she is, a known liar.
That you're a bigot. That
if you don't vote for me, then you ain't black. Don't want my kids growing up in a racial jungle. All of these things. Such hypocrites, man. They are not able to do self-inventory. They don't even once stop and look at the raggedy behind people that they support and vote for.
that you're a racist.
Oh, God. What else?
That you're sexist. That you're
Tara Reid, she's still out there, y'all. There's no ongoing investigation. Nobody's sticking a mic in Joe's face, constantly asking him, do you still want to address the Tara Reid accusations? I mean, do you think the woman should have her Me Too moment? Nobody's doing that. But now she's saying Trump's a sexist. He's all of that. Remember, Joe? She said, Joe looked at her and said, what's wrong? I thought you liked me. You're nothing. You're nothing to me. Remember that?
twice impeached. That you are currently
Twice impeached for what? Nothing. See, she's making it seem like these are legitimate claims. Like these were not things fabricated by the Democrats, the deep state, and all of them. So if you're ignorant and you don't follow this stuff, you would assign all of these false accusations to Trump. You might give validity to the fact that he was impeached twice. You won't have enough political IQ to see that those were two fake bootleg impeachments. They weren't real. They weren't legit like Biden should be. Biden should be impeached right now. He shouldn't have even been allowed to run. But here he is, talking about him running again.
A criminal defendant, and likely to be a criminal defendant in 2 other jurisdictions.
As Biden walks around doing nothing. Done found out all of this stuff. All of the lies, all of the money transfers. They ain't found none of that stuff with Trump. They found all of that garbage with Biden, and not one indictment, not one real legitimate investigation, all of that. But here she is talking about under criminal investigation. Now, I hope she is just doing this on purpose, because if not, that speaks volumes to her intelligence. You can't tell me that you're not able to see that Fat Albert, that's a big fat fake investigation. You can't tell me you're not able to discern that these folks been going after Trump over stupid stuff this whole time. You know what should have shut that thing down right there that she just said? The fact that they falsified a full-blown dossier and a full-blown Russia collusion narrative, falsified it. Everything that comes after that should be swept under the rug. You should be like, whoa, 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 whoa. The big one y'all hung y'all hats on. The big one that y'all dropped out there to us talking about, this is the big one. Man, I'm telling you, it's Russia collusion. Drug that mess out for like 2.5 years, only to find out it was the folks that you support concoction that big fat lie. And here she is talking about she's under investigation. So if they're willing to do it once, what makes you think they won't do it again and have been doing it? If you're the people in power, you can come up with pretty much anything. And that's why they all need to be removed from power. So you can come up with these fake investigations and use dummies like Sonny the dummy. Okay.
Yeah.
I know everything I need.
And you
grab women by their genitals. I know everything I need to know about you.
But
Wait a minute. That's an accusation. You grab women by the genitals. He said they will let you do anything. They'll let you grab them by the genitals. They'll let you do this and this and that. And they just went ahead and just said, you know what it is? Just because he said they'll let you do it, that must mean he did it. Now, this is why I said in my title that pump your brakes, kid. That man's a national treasure. Trump got to be one of the realest people in politics and realest famous people that I know. Just one of the realest people. Most people aren't as genuine and honest like Trump is, which we're about to see in a second after we finish hearing Sonny the dummy.
Right? And so I don't think, just to put a button on it, I don't think
put a button on your mouth,
you
Sonny.
give that type of person a platform.
Wow. In America, I don't think you give that type of person a platform, because Sonny's opinion of that person and Sonny's brain, who maybe can't understand that that's the person that's standing in the way of very powerful people who put together all of the stupid lies you're parroting, doesn't mean that Americans shouldn't hear from him and be willing to vote for him if they want to. And now an unlikely source steps in and says, I disagree with Sonny. Toucan Sand, y'all. Toucan Sand knows Joy Behar steps in, but she's still dumb too. So listen to this.
You don't do that. And I'm actually dismayed that CNN on May 10th at 8 o'clock is going to be giving, I just did a commercial for them. I can't believe that they are giving him this platform. He is one of the most
I have to disagree with you, Sonny.
What?
I have to disagree with you.
Look at her. She's shocked. What? Nobody's supposed to disagree with Sonny the dummy. I can't believe this Toucan. Now, soon as Toucan came in and said that, I knew she was going to follow up with something stupid. I knew it. I was like, okay. See, she's starting off like she's the voice of reason. And, like she's a person who, remember, this is still America. But then she concludes with something dumb.
I can't stand him, as you know.
Yeah.
But he is the front runner for the Republican Party.
Because that's the best they can
I
come up
would
with.
let them do it.
The best we could come up with. As we sit around and watch Joe Biden walk around talking about Ketanji Jackson. As we sit there and listen to this fool and watch this fool shake hands that ain't there, fall up steps, fall off of bikes that are standing still. And she said, because that's the best we can come up with. Maybe she hasn't looked at the results of this man's work these last 2.5 years or so. And she's talking about that's the best you guys can come up with. Are you kidding me? Trump ran circles around this man. And if it wasn't for the fake news, his ratings would even be worse. And Trump's would have been way higher.
It's a free country. This is America. Let him go out there and let him show again to the American people that he is a sociopath.
Oh, God. Oh, God. A sociopath, says Toucan Sam knows. Now, we're talking about a group of people who are willing to look folks in the face right in the camera and lie. Mr. President, did you know about your family receiving money from China? What? It didn't happen. Did you know about that laptop? What? It's Russian disinformation. My son's innocent. That guy. The same guy who said, I didn't know nothing about my son's business partners and dealings, and we find out he did. That dude gets on camera constantly. The same guy who had the devil background and was up there talking about Trump and all of his extreme ultra MAGA folks and stuff. That guy. The guy that said something and told us we ain't gonna force y'all to get the you know what, and then came out like, look, we've been patient, but our patience is running thin. That guy. The guy that said, no, we ain't gonna, be forcing y'all out of your jobs and all that stuff, and did it. This guy, with no regret, the same guy who got 13 of our soldiers blown up because of that asinine decision that he made. And here he is, looking at his watch. No real emotions, no real connection, don't realize the gravity of his choice. Still saying I was justified in doing it. That guy. And she's talking about Trump's a sociopath. Obviously, Toucan Sam doesn't know the behaviors of a sociopath. So let's see. Here we go. Key moments from the video of Trump's. Now they just accused Trump, y'all, of being a sexist and all of that and grabbing him by the you know what. And now it's another lady that done popped up. She done popped up out of nowhere, like all the time. This is a go-to from the Democrats. I'm like, how many of these chicks you got to have come out constantly? You know it, right around election time. Send in the female victim from 1971 when I was an intern somewhere, and I've carried this for the last 50 years. Unreal. So now this lady done resurfaced, and she got a problem with Trump, and we get an insight to his deposition. Now, I'm sure Trump's going to be sensitive, and I'm sure he's going to be thinking about Trump, behave. Don't be real. Don't keep it 100%. Show the people that you can adapt like Kamala Harris and all of them and be something that you're not. I'm sure that's what he's going to do. Yeah.
Okay, then you go on to say in the statement, and while I am not supposed to say it, I will. Why were you not supposed to say it?
Because it's not politically correct to say. Read the next, go ahead.
He's a boss.
Not my type. Yeah, because it's not politically correct to say it, and I know that, but I'll say it anyway.
Say it.
She's accusing me of a woman that I have no idea who she is. The worst thing you can do, the worst charge. And you know it's not true too. You're a political operative also.
Oh, this is why he's a national treasure. I don't see how anybody with common sense can't love Trump. Who does that? He's not going to toy around and play with these folks because, they use this kind of crap to bludgeon folks. They use this kind of crap to intimidate people because when you start throwing out accusations of sexual assault, you start throwing out accusations of racism and stuff, even if it's untrue, you'll get folks that would tiptoe around that like, oh God, I got to create the perception that there's no way I did something like this, instead of just being honest and calling these people out for what they are. This woman, I don't even know who she is. And she accused me of one of the worst things you could possibly accuse somebody over. So yes, I'm not going to be sensitive just because she's a woman. I'm not going to be going and kowtowing to y'all demand for fake apologies and all of that stupid stuff. He's like, no, if you're evil enough to come out and you accuse me of something like that, it's like how they sling out things like racism, Nazi, white nationalists. They're calling people some of the worst things that you can call a person. Therefore, all bets are off. Don't think I'm going to come out there and tap dance around ripping you. I'm going to give you the business. Brett Kavanaugh, they called this man a serial gang rapist. When people call you some of that, those type of things, these aren't the moments where you go, let me be politically correct. And knowing that this lady also, who's asking this question, is involved in this as well. They're like, let's get somebody to ask him some questions, try to set the narrative, try to get Trump to trip up and say something stupid and this and that. And instead, Trump comes out and says this.
You're a disgrace. But she's accusing me, and so are you, and it never took place. And I will tell you, I made that statement and I said, well, it's politically incorrect. She's not my type. And that's 100% true. She's not my type.
Yeah, she's no Melania. That's for sure. She's tender to the eye. You gotta look at her through one eyeball. Can't open both on her. So this chick was accusing Trump of doing something to her years ago. Now, guys, I just don't get this, man. When you get these type of things that only seem to pop up, either once a person reaches a certain level of fame and fortune, or they're running for office, and then all of a sudden things pop up like this. And where I always get suspicious is when the people who brings this stuff up has a motive to do it. Now, there's probably multiple motives. Like, can I get some money out the deal? But often you'll find, and this usually applies to Republicans only, often you'll find that people accusing them are from the other side. See, when I sit back and I say, you're a liberal, I mean, you're probably a person that thinks Trump's a fascist, white nationalist. They don't have to do much to encourage you to come out and say some stuff. But when you see the Democrats get accused of something like that, they're usually getting accused by people who have no real motive to accuse them. Like Keith Ellison, his girlfriend accused him of beating her up. And she's a Democrat. And went immediately to the hospital, documented it, showed all the scars. So what's her motive? See, when Tara Reid, who was a Democrat, and I think still is, brought that up about Joe Biden, is she doing that because she's a conservative and wants to just tank his career? She has no motive except for that dude's evil and did something to me. But then when you get these people, you find out that they're activists, they're Democrats. It doesn't take much for the Democrats to just say, hey, you mind coming out and saying some things about Trump? You don't want him to get in office, do you? Huh? You don't want that fascism. Well, no, I don't. Plus, you'll get a book deal out of it or something, I'm pretty sure. So now here she is bringing this up like she's been carrying this for like 40 years. And the sad part about this is when I hear this stuff, it makes it difficult to really have compassion when it comes down to these accusations. I mean, frankly, when I hear them, I'm thinking, see, it's hard for me to give you the benefit of the doubt. We done seen this play over and over and over again. You're killing it for real accusations. Just like you sling out racism, white nationalism. Now, when I hear racism, it's hard for me to immediately take my brain to there and say, yeah, well, let's go check this out. For off grip, I go, I'm skeptical because y'all have watered it down. Y'all have played this card over and over again like we're about to see. Ew.
When you said in that video that Ms. Leeds would not be your first choice, you were referring to her physical looks, correct?
Just the overall. I look at her, I see her, I hear what she says, whatever. You wouldn't be a choice of mine either, to be honest with you. I hope you're not insulted. I would not, under any circumstances, have any interest in you. I'm honest when I say it. I would not have any interest in.
I love it. Did you hear him slide in those subtle shots? I mean, in no circumstances would I ever be interested in you. I don't even know who the lady is doing the interview. But if I'm her, my ego is like in a million pieces right there. Woody's basically saying, if I got dropped off on an island and it was just you and I would sleep alone. I would get up under some blankets, maybe a couple leaves, and turn my back to you in a fetal position. That's what I would do. So here she is trying to flush out some intel about this lady's accusation. And Trump's like, look, I mean, she's not a person I would ever be attracted to. Neither would you. At all. At all. There's no circumstance that I would ever find you attractive. So I love it. He's giving her the blow. But now, check this out. This is one of the most realist, honest statements ever. But yet you'll get people who will deny this just because it's Trump.
In this video, I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. Just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Grab them by the. You can do anything. That's what you said, correct?
Well, historically, that's true with stars.
It's true with stars that they can grab women by.
Well, if you look over the last million years, I guess that's been largely true. Not always, but largely true. Unfortunately or fortunately.
And you consider yourself to be a star?
I think you can say that, yeah.
That man's a national treasure. He's a hero. If any dude out there is being honest with himself and you haven't been simped out to the left, you know darn well there's some truth to that statement. Don't be out. It made me so mad when that Access Hollywood video came out, and I heard some guys who I played football with in college getting online talking about, man, you hear what Trump said, man? Man, that ain't right, man. I got a daughter and this and that. And he talking about you can do anything to these women, grab them by the... And I'm thinking, you act like I don't know you. You act like I didn't spend time in the locker rooms with you. You act as if you're now sensitive and done evolved beyond that reality. Yet, just in college, there were women who thought you might be going to the NFL, and they behaved very, how should I say, aggressive sometimes, and then sometimes passive aggressive. Pretty much giving you the wink and the gun, like, hey, I mean, I'm not saying you could do some things, but if you do it, I'm not going to stop you. Now, I'm not saying it's right, but let's be real. There's some dudes who I've seen that had a certain status, and I'll look at a girl that they got and I say, there's no way this guy would have gotten that girl if he wasn't who he is. You're telling me his money and status did not influence her? I love Forrest Whitaker as an actor, but Forrest Whitaker is tender to the eye. This man's wife was gorgeous and he got a lazy eye. And when I saw her, he's out of shape, lazy eye. I saw his wife about 20 years ago. I'm like, what? How in the world did Forrest Whitaker get? Oh, he's Forrest Whitaker. So to act as if what he said had no validity to it, you're crazy. Now, some of the guys I know who got all upset and tender because of that statement, some of them were playing in the NFL and would come back and tell me how all the ladies would let them just do whatever. Chicks, man, they just be all over us, man. We could roll up in there and be like, hey, you, come here for a minute. Yes. Would you kiss my boy right here? He just got drafted. Yeah, I'll do it. And they do whatever. And I'm saying, so don't act as if what he just said is not true. Most of the time, men want to become rich and powerful because they know how that also increases their status and ability to have access to more women. You think if women weren't a factor, men would be busting their butt to make millions and buy big mansions and nice cars? You think they would be busting their butt to shave and buy all these fancy clothes? We would walk around like cavemen. If it was all men, nobody would shave. They would clip their toenails. They wouldn't clip their fingernails, their nose hairs. Hair would be growing out of every opening on our body. Barely wash our feet. God knows you ain't washing your back. Why do that? I can't even reach back there. Forget that. We'll let the rainwater wash that off. Women influence men to be better than they normally are. It's a known fact that it's a balance. It's a balance. See, y'all affect us and men affect y'all too. But women are more affected by somebody who, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, have a certain status and some power, and they can sit back and try to say, I don't care who he is, girl. You know what? I mean, shoot, just because he a billionaire, don't matter. He's just another man than me. Let that billionaire turn and look your way. You at least gonna listen to what he got to say. Excuse me, can I talk to you for a minute? Yeah, I mean, that's cool. What you want to talk about? You ain't gonna be like, face, get out of here. Most women, if they're single, is going to listen. They might play it cool, but they're going to listen. So for these folks to try to act like what he said is not honest, I'm like, hey, I've lived it. I've seen it happen in real life. So don't try to act like, no women ever behave that way. That's why he's a national treasure. No other man that I could think of, especially in politics or entertainment, would say something that real. Now, if he's real enough to say something like that, then that man right there is real enough to say the things that when he says something, I'm able to say, I trust this guy. Whether you like what he's saying or not, he's going to tell it like it is. Therefore, I trust him. I appreciate that. Now, let's get into what the Dems been doing for years. Look at this.
Committee will please come to order.
Creepy. So they went back to the playbook. Look at this.
It's a tough day, tough night for you, I know. Let me ask, do you have anything you'd like to say before we begin?
And
I understand that
he's black.
Your preference is, which is totally and completely understandable, that we go 1 hour tonight, 30 minutes on each side. Am I correct in that?
That's right.
Do you have anything you'd like to say?
Senator, I would like to start by saying unequivocally, uncategorically, that I deny each and every single allegation against me today that suggested in any way that I had conversations of a sexual nature or about pornographic material with Anita Hill, that I ever attempted to date her, that I ever had any personal sexual interest in her.
Wow. So this been a part of the Democrats' playbook for a while. This was 1981. Wait, I think it's 91. Might be 91. The number is kind of blurry. So October 11, 19, either 81 or 91. And he's a black man. He's a black man. Now, here he is being nominated to the Supreme Court. And you get the woman that comes out and accuses him. And this man is mad. See, when you start saying things like, he did this to me, and you didn't do it, that's not playtime. You are mad. Then they run it right back with Brett Kavanaugh. They run it back with Trump. This is a play in their book, and folks don't catch it. So out of nowhere, here comes a woman that accuses him, and he was just as mad as Trump.
Or that I in any way ever harassed her. A second, and I think more important point, I think that this today is a travesty.
It is.
I think that it is disgusting. I think that this hearing should never occur in America. This is a case in which this sleaze, this dirt, was searched for by staffers of members of this committee.
Democrats, let's go ahead and find somebody who's willing to prostitute themselves and come out here and throw some of the worst accusations out there to destroy a man just because you don't want him on the Supreme Court justice. Now, you would think, guys, since the Democrats are all into identity politics and they just love black people, that they would never try to destroy this man. They should be celebrating the fact that a black man's been nominated to the Supreme Court justice, because they don't care about whether you're qualified and all that stuff. It's all about you just being, black. Yeah. Somebody said the sound is lowered over on YouTube. Can you hear it over there on YouTube? I got my nice fancy speaker hooked up, so hopefully you can hear what he's saying. But yeah, so Clarence Thomas is furious over this. But here's the crazy part about it. He's about to say something that remind me of the Democrats of old. That's right. A different type of lynching, y'all.
Was then leaked to the media. And this committee and this body validated it and displayed it at prime time over our entire nation.
This man's a national
treasure. How would any member on this committee, any person in this room, or any person in this country would like sleaze said about him or her in this fashion? Or this dirt dredged up in this gossip and these lies displayed in this manner? How would any person like it? The Supreme Court is not worth it. No job is worth it.
And see, Democrats will make you feel that way. A lot of people care, man, you should run for office. I'm like, man, these folks right here, they play too dirty. They're not willing to get up there and bang fist to fist. They're not getting up there talking about, let's go ahead and find out what you know and let's talk about their policies and all that stuff and see who's comes out on top. No, it's let's go ahead and have somebody drag up something 20 years ago, drag out somebody who's going to get out there and lie, and then bubble wrap that person. You can't counter them. You can't accuse them of being a big old fat liar, because you know they're going to pick something that's going to make you look like an animal for saying that chick is a garden tool. That chick is a bleep, bleep, bleep. Because see, that'll make you want to say something like that. When somebody come out and start accusing you of things like this, You don't want to censor your words. You're like, you playing with my whole entire life over some politics. I know Brett Kavanaugh was like, man, this is cool and all, but I had to go through this. And that's their goal. They do these things to make sure good qualified candidates that live good, clean lives think twice and say, man, it's a great position. It's an honor. But these folks are so dirty over here. No telling what they will do to try to destroy me. Right about now, they don't care who I am, what my gender is, my sex, my color, my nationality, none of that. It's all about protect our power. And if we got to destroy a whole life, we will. And the sad part is you got these guys right here, they get nominated. It ain't like they interview for the job. These guys minding their own business, they're just being good judges. And out of nowhere, people nominate them. They say, that's great. That's an honor. I would love to, And just because they got nominated in the wrong party, these folks will come and drag out people to destroy their life. Unlike the Republicans, when they attack these folks, it's usually on what you said, what you've done, your record, how you voted, how you've judged, all of these things. It's never, let's bring out 7 women who said when I was in the 8th grade, he looked at me funny. It's never that. This dirty tactic is a Democrat Marxist tactic.
I'm not here for that. I'm here for my name, my family, my life, and my integrity. I think something is dreadfully wrong with this country when any person in this free country would be subjected to this. This is not a closed room. There was an FBI investigation. This is not an opportunity to talk about difficult matters privately or in a closed environment. This is a circus. It's a national disgrace.
Like the Democrats always do.
And from my standpoint, as a black American, as far as I'm concerned, it is a high-tech lynching.
We need that anti-lynching bill now, for sure. Because that's what the Democrats do. They will go after a black person who they claim they love, and they will lynch them metaphorically by destroying their character and influence. Kanye West, as soon as he met with President, lynch him. Even when dang on Nicki Minaj disagreed with getting a you-know-what, lynch her. Any black person of color, or whatever, decide, you know what, we're breaking away from your support, our support towards the Democrat Party. Lynch them. They're no good to us anymore. Get rid of them. They went back to their old ways. So you see what they did to Clarence Thomas back then. They did it to Brett Kavanaugh. They're trying to do it to Trump. So we just might as well go ahead and buckle up and get ready for it, because I'm sure this is just the beginning, unfortunately. But that's how they do it, man. That's their style. Now, somebody asked about the new channel. It's called KC 2.3. Okay, instead of 2.3, KC 2.3. So I put the link in there, and I don't know why the link didn't show up. I'm gonna try it again in a little bit. So if you're just joining in and you're trying to figure out how to subscribe to the new channel, sit tight. I'll put the link in there. All right, now Tucker, y'all. Tucker got a new deal. Now, if this goes through, this is going to be great. And I'm hoping that Elon Musk, along with Tucker, does something that will open up a door for us that are being stuck on YouTube and being dealt out this bad hand. Right now, Twitter is the only free speech platform we have. Well, I won't say that. Rumble is as well. But, I mean, let's be honest, Rumble doesn't have a very eclectic mixed audience where you got 2 groups of people coming in and clashing. So let's see what Tucker's talking about here.
Tucker Carlson, you often hear people say the news is full of lies, but most of the time that's not exactly right. Much of what you see on television or read the New York Times is in fact true in the literal sense. It could pass one of the media's own fact checks. Lawyers would be willing to sign off on it. In fact, they may have. But that doesn't make it true.
Right.
It's not true. At the most basic level, the news you consume is a lie. A lie of the stealthiest and most insidious kind.
Yeah, like maliciously, purposely, stuff like that. I mean, look you dead in your face, as Sonny was talking about, and all of them. He's a sociopath. And yet you got Hillary Clinton and Nancy Pelosi and all of them. And nobody checks their lies. Remember just a few months back, Nancy Pelosi said Paul Pelosi was attacked by a Trump supporter. And we found out that that dude opened that door, holding hands, both of them holding a hammer. Hey, what's going on, guys? Nothing. What y'all up to? Nothing. The hammer, I am, hammer. Yet nobody said nothing. They straight up came out and said that a Trump supporter did that, and they broke in and did all these things to Paul Pelosi. And these folks covered for, in fact, fired one of their own who actually did the news. He actually gave a true statement. He actually put out legitimate news. And they fired that guy. Haven't seen him yet. So Tucker's right when it comes down to that. These folks are malicious with the lies.
Facts have been withheld on purpose, along with proportion and perspective. You are being manipulated. How does that work? Let's see. If I tell you that a man has been unjustly arrested for armed robbery, that is not, strictly speaking, a lie. He may have been framed. At this point, there's been no trial, so no one can really say. But if I don't mention the fact that the same man has been arrested for the same crime 6 times before, am I really informing you? No, I'm not.
No, you're not.
I'm misleading you. And that's what the news media are doing in every story that matters, every day of the week, every week of the year. What's it like to work in a system like that? After more than 30 years in the middle of it, we could tell you stories. The best you can hope for in the news business at this point is the freedom to tell the fullest truth that you can. But there are always limits. And you know that if you bump up against those limits often enough, you will be fired for it.
Like Tucker did. See, because he didn't want to play by the rules. So even though he worked for Fox, we now see that there's a little bit of the uniparty going on with them as well. See, already knew that he was in trouble when he got those video clips from J6, and yet you had Republicans coming out saying, I don't think this is a good idea. And I'm saying, why not? Mitch, what do you have to hide? Why do you want less information for the people? Anytime a Republican comes out and does something like that, I go, uniparty, that's what you're with. You're down with the uniparty. So you can't tell me that the greatest attack on our democracy, we should not be allowed to see all the footage. Why not? More the merrier. And you'll find that Tucker has been ruffling feathers in several other cases that probably led to him getting a hammer.
That's not a guess, it's guaranteed. Every person who works in English language media understands that. The rule of what you can't say defines everything. It's filthy, really, and it's utterly corrupting. You can't have a free society if people aren't allowed to say what they think is true. Nope. Speech is the fundamental prerequisite for democracy.
And that's why they're trying to tear it down. That's why that is one of the number one things they need to get. There's 2 things that's keeping us in business as a country and as a free people. 1 is the Second Amendment, and 2 is our First Amendment. Our ability to say what we want to say. And because they can't work around it right now or abolish those 2 amendments, they're figuring out other ways to indirectly silence us, manipulate the public, control speech. They're figuring out workarounds, proxies. They're using big tech to do their dirty work. That's what they're doing. They're using these companies to discriminate against conservatives or say, you know what, your videos or your thoughts, they don't line up with our morals, our goals and objectives, so we can no longer finance you and your payments. They're doing stuff like that. But there will come a time, if people don't wake up and we don't stop this mess, there will come a time where they won't need to do that. They're working hard to just full-blown destroy the First, Second Amendment and any other amendment that might stand in the way of their power. They're working towards that goal every single day.
That's why it's enshrined in the first of our constitutional amendments. Amazingly, as of tonight, there aren't many platforms left that allow free speech. The last big one remaining in the world, the only one, is Twitter, where we are now. Twitter has long served as the place where our national conversation incubates and develops. Twitter is not a partisan site. Everybody's allowed here, and we think that's a good thing. And yet, for the most part, the news that you see analyzed on Twitter comes from media organizations that are themselves thinly disguised propaganda outlets. You see it on cable news, you talk about it on Twitter.
And that is why they wanted to destroy Twitter. That's why they was like, we cannot have Twitter fall into the hands of somebody who's really going to allow free speech. They had a complete conniption. Before that, they loved Elon. Look at him. He got electric cars. He's going green. He's great. Most richest man. Just like they love Donald Trump. before he ran as a Republican. Isn't that odd? If you ever want to get thrown into the hate category and become a racist, white nationalist, xenophobe, homophobe, sexist, and all of that stuff, just simply run against the Democrat Party or don't tote the line for them, and you'll find yourself in that category. And if you're none of those things, then you'll be a domestic terrorist or an extremist or something like that. If you're black, you'll be a sellout Uncle Tom and might even still be called a extremist white nationalist. You never know. They'll work it in somehow for you. So, yeah, they loved Elon until he bought Twitter and took away one of their avenues of control and manipulation.
The result may feel like a debate, but actually the gatekeepers are still in charge. We think that's a bad system.
Me too.
We know exactly how it works, and we're sick of it. Starting soon, we'll be bringing a new version of the show we've been doing for the last 6.5 years to Twitter. We'll be bringing some other things too, which we'll tell you about. But for now, we're just grateful to be here. Free speech is the main right that you have. Without it, you have no others. See you soon. Why do we...
Now, you know what? I'm kind of excited about that. I'm not even a big tweeter. I'll still be trying to figure out the feeds. Like, all right, how did I get over there? Wait. All right, who just commented? All right, what's trending? Wait a minute, how do I figure out what I said 8 months ago? I still don't know how to work Twitter, but if they can integrate something like what we see on YouTube into Twitter, where content providers can have their own channels and start uploading their own videos and come up with even a compensation plan based on the same type of style that YouTube have, I would immediately take a lot of my subscribers right over there. If they could come up with something like that ain't too complicated for me. Because, see, I still don't want to mess with Twitter right now. I chime in every once in a while. But if they did that, I would bounce and get on there and say every word that I couldn't say on YouTube. I'd start off with nothing but anti-vaccination, you know what, COVID-19, you know what, I would just drop every word out there. I'd be out there like transgender, all over the place, everywhere. All right, let's continue though. Because see, this is why Tucker got in trouble.
We not know about the hours before and after Jeffrey Epstein's death? What about the 911 calls? What about the security footage? Why was he transferred to a cell on a very specific block that doesn't have functional cameras? Why are there so many gaps inside of the Jeffrey Epstein death story? And
why didn't the news try to even find these answers? These were all regular thoughts that I had. Anybody with common sense that followed it was going, now, wait a minute. Why? This dude was one of the biggest, highest profile criminals ever that had secrets to a whole bunch of very powerful people. And mysteriously, this man somehow suicides himself. And the media wasn't even interested in it except for Tucker.
Why were the security guards pardoned who fell asleep at the wheel that night?
Isn't that crazy? How people who participate in something shisty ends up getting off. Like Ray Epps. Why is Ray Epps now a victim? You would think that this dude should be held accountable for standing there that night, day before, in that camp. You would think that. But for some reason, he's just let go and he gets a 60-minute spot where he's able to say, I'm the victim. Same thing. You get 2 police officers or guards who both fell asleep. I mean, you got to be kidding me. Did somebody give them some sleeping pills? I'm wondering, how in the world do you do synchronized sleeping? All right, on 3. 1, 2, 3. So the synchronized sleepers happen to fall asleep. The cameras happen to malfunction all at the same time. And then what?
Who's going in and who's going out?
If you wouldn't mind just summarizing for us what we know, or what you know about Epstein's death.
Well, I was present at the autopsy, and there were 3 fractures in the windpipe that are much more typical of crush injury from homicidal strangulation than from hanging. There were petechial hemorrhages in the eyes, again, more typical of homicide. And the ligature imprint on the neck didn't match the ligature that was present in the cell, made from a sheet. So I thought that made it more likely that this was a homicide than a suicide.
Now, see, Tucker brought this guy on, and this guy right here is sowing doubt concerning the whole Jeffrey Epstein thing. Now, you got to be real dumb to even think that this man committed suicide. When I first heard it, I was like, they killed him. Off grip. along with probably several other folks who had just too much information. If they can get their hands on Julian Assange, I'm pretty sure they'd do that to him. If they can get they got their hands on the one dude who had that software or whatever, and he was like, hey, look, if I die, I didn't kill myself. And of course, he suicided himself somehow. Then another one of Jeffrey Epstein's buddies over in France just recently suicided himself. Yeah, there you go. So soon as I heard that Jeff Ep was found dead, I immediately said, oh, they killed him. I mean, when I saw that interview with the royal family guy, Prince, whoever he was, over there, like, no, I mean, we wasn't very close, but I did spend a few days with him, but it was nothing like out of the ordinary. And I'm sitting there like, they killed him. They killed him. When I saw dang on Bill Gates up there, like, huh, what? No, I mean, I regret having dinner with him. Well, he can't say anything now. He's dead. He's dead. I'm going, they killed him. And Giselle Maxwell better be careful too. So Jeff, unfortunately, knew too much, and we're about to find something else out. And here's Tucker snooping around.
But we never got to find out how the body was found. Was he found hanging or not, for example? Because the two guards were sleeping through
Knocked
that
out.
time.
Synchronized
He was dead for a few hours before he was found. The two guards never made a statement that was released as to how the body was found. The body was just cut down and brought out to a hospital where he was pronounced dead.
Nothing strange about that. There you go. No statement or nothing. All right, you guys were first on the scene, yeah? First of all, what were you guys doing? We both fell asleep. At the same time? Yeah. Okay, well, what about the cameras? Let's go ahead and go to those. Why is this footage missing right here? Oh, I don't know. It must have malfunctioned while we were sleeping together. Okay, this is starting to sound real suspicious. Well, what did you find when you came in and saw the body? We don't want to talk about it. What? Yeah, we don't want to talk about it. He was just dead. Like where? Where was he at? Did you move the bodies? Yeah. So then explain where they were at and how he didn't. No. He was just dead. He was hung. We're pretty sure he hung himself. Are you kidding? So they didn't want to release none of this. These guys didn't have to give a statement, and they want us to believe that man suicided himself. Benny, help us out.
People inside of Jeffrey Epstein's cell block. What about just opening up the prison bars in that cell block, and you just put a known hitman across the way from Jeffrey Epstein? He walks across the way. Bingo, bango, bongo. What about that?
Yeah. Because, see, that sounds more logical than two men falling asleep at the same time and the camera's malfunctioning and all of these factors that just happen to fall in place. And that man decided, I'm going to hang myself with, I guess, a sheet or a towel or something like that. He's a narcissist. Okay. That man was a sociopath. That man was not suicidal. That dude wanted to live. He probably thought he could weasel his way out of that by maybe using all of that stuff and all of his knowledge as leverage. So you can't tell me that guy decided, oh, you know what? This is just too much to bear. I'm ready to tap out, especially when you're so used to getting your way and getting out of stuff like that. So most people with those grandiose egos, they're not going to commit suicide. So here's Tucker again, debunking some of these things. And I'm going to go, Tucker, you're talking about billionaires, rich, powerful people who wanted this man out the way just in case he got a weak moment and said, you know what, so-and-so was there. And here goes Tucker again, doing stuff like this.
Came in or out of the tier, Barr said. Therefore, Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. So let's consider that claim rationally. On the night of August 9th, Jeffrey Epstein was being held in the special housing unit of the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Manhattan, the most secure part of the city's federal lockup. It would be physically impossible for a stranger to get in and out of this facility without an electronic pass and without being seen by the countless cameras in place between the street and the locked 9th floor of the building.
So then how could that happen? Physically impossible. So that means it was an inside job? And that's what you're telling me? So the highest profile prisoner in there, you didn't keep him in isolation? You just opened up like dang on the Punisher, where you just open all the prison doors and let them just walk out and they just come right over and sit down in Jeffrey Epstein's cell with him? What's up, Jeff? Yeah, what you up to? Could you not come in my cell? Hey man, the door was open. Are you kidding? That man should have had 24-hour watch and his doors should have remained closed. Even if you open the doors of all the rest of those dudes, that man's door should have remained closed. But now we find out more. And Barr never even followed up on this.
If Jeffrey Epstein was murdered, he was not murdered by an intruder, someone who came into the tier. He was murdered by someone on his own cell block, obviously. There were 7 other cells on Epstein's tier, and each one housed dangerous criminals. So if you were looking for a killer, you would figure out who was in those cells. But no one seems to have thought of that or done it. The Bureau of Prisons refused to provide us with a list of the inmates on Epstein's tier. It's not clear how many of them were even interviewed by investigators, despite the fact that some of them were transferred out of the facility shortly after Epstein's death. That's a baffling oversight.
It is a baffling oversight. So Barr didn't put that together. Tucker could come up with that conclusion, but Barr couldn't. This wrapped up. This case is shut and closed right here. It is obvious he killed himself. So we didn't see anybody walk in. That means somebody in there could have done it. What about the guy we just heard talk about the bones broken in the neck? None of that. We ain't gonna follow up on nothing. We're just gonna go ahead and say nothing else to look into. Now I'm starting to question whether Barr, or even if Barr might have been concerned, whatever Jeffrey Epstein had on these people must have been so damning that they would be like, we'll kill anybody who even attempts to expose this information, including you, Barr. So who knows? Maybe Barr knew and just acted like, I don't know what you're talking about. But you had to be dumb to not realize what took place. And if you really want to get to the bottom of it, you would go through some rational steps like Tucker is pointing out. And that's why they didn't like Tucker, because he points out the obvious things that smart people think about.
Is juicy. Watch.
A new report from the Wall Street Journal exposes the prominent names of Jeffrey Epstein's private calendar. Some meetings include our current CIA director, William Burns, the Bard College president, and Obama White House counsel, Catherine Rumler.
Now, why is Democrats always lurking around nasty people? See, you are the company you keep. Their names are always popping up. Jeffrey Epstein, Harvey Weinstein. They're always hanging around suspect people, but they're clean though. They're clean. See, if Trump had one picture with a suspect person, they would be like, Trump's obviously best friends with this person right here. So these people flying around, going to his mansion, meeting with him for what? What do you need to be hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein for?
Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself. He was a horrible person and a convicted pedophile when these names appeared in his private calendar. Now, none of these people went to Epstein Island or seen on his flight logs, but unfortunately, they knew exactly what they were dealing with because he had already been convicted of sex crimes with minors in 2008. They knew the association and they continued to meet with him because of the riches that he might bring him by knowing people and having secrets about those in politics and in the financial sector.
Now, remember, guys, nobody goes and hangs out with a sex offender. You just don't do it. I mean, even if it was a family member, I would have a hard time inviting them to the picnic or the family reunion. It's something about that. There are certain crimes that you go, ew, you nasty. I don't know if I want to hang out with you. I don't care what you can offer me. These people that were hanging out with him, it's not like this dude could have offered them anything anyway. When you are at a certain level and you have certain power, what is Jeffrey Epstein going to be able to offer you except for some nastiness? So this man knew too much, and too many people was involved probably with him in a very incriminating way. And they just couldn't let him live. And then you had Tucker coming out there reporting on it and calling it out. And now we find out all of these Democrats and liberals was hanging around this dude. Now, imagine if they would have really unleashed the books. Boy, I tell you, we'd probably find some names on there. It'd be weird. You'd be sitting back like, wait a minute, I went to high school with that dude. Why was he flying over there? All right, so now
Do you want to push back a little bit on Antifa? I mean, FBI.
God. Oh, we back to dumbness. Y'all. See, this is what we're talking. This is what Tucker was even talking about earlier when he was talking about how the news just lies to you. They're talking about Antifa. And watch what Whoopi Rocks in the Voice Cushion says.
Director Christopher Wray called them an extremist group. He called them anarchists and congressional
But then
testimony.
that was organized.
I agree.
But
They're
no
not
one
organized.
found
No one has found Antifa. We've heard a lot
Where
about
are they?
Antifa.
I mean, they have websites that have recruiting online. They do have. We talk about. Sonny's brought up many times about the FBI director speaking about white supremacy being the #1 target. He also said that same trusted source. That
They don't like
it's a
this.
real thing. It's not a.
See, because they're fascists too. They like Antifa's tactics. See, they want the only extremist group that should be highlighted or talked about is the Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers, the Ultra MAGA folks, which none of them are extremist groups. They don't have no video footage of the Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, and all of that stuff burning down cities, flipping over cars, attacking innocent people, face covered in black, running around with helmets and shields, all of that stuff. And these idiots on here talking about they're not organized and they're not even their distant idea. Do you understand the level of dumbness that you have to have, or the ability to prostitute yourself to get out there and defend Antifa and try to downplay them and say, well, they're not organized and they're just an idea and you can't find them. You can't find them. Then obviously you're not even remotely interested in seeing what they're about because they're everywhere. That's the problem. If they are not organized, how in the world do they show up everywhere? If they're not organized, watch my video of the mysterious lady in the window and look at all those Antifians in that room that somehow all came together and was in that room as she was telling them where to go and all of that. Somehow they had their little helmets, their masks, they all knew where to be. And here are these idiots on here talking about they're not organized.
A fiction. It's just not organized. Right. They ambush. They're
It's merely an idea. Antifa is not a highly organized movement, nor is it merely an idea.
They're not a highly organized movement or merely an idea. Basically saying they're kind of in the middle. They're not highly organized, but they're not just an idea. It's just a couple ragtag guys, just every blue moon, happen to get together at the same time and do some mischief. That's not what I've seen for the last 4 years and beyond. That's not what I've seen. I've seen them organize major events. I've seen video footage and clips and flyers talking about Antifa, let's meet there. I've seen people who've infiltrated Antifa and talked about how they were organized. And these idiots on here, along with Christopher Wray, is trying to downplay Antifa so that they don't get outed as an extremist domestic terrorist group. And these fools are helping.
It's a loose
But it's so
organization.
odd that we have not. Well, where are they? Because
they show up everywhere. There's protests and
apparently,
rioting.
but no, they don't come on television.
But no, but this is it is different. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
It is different than the Proud Boys. It's not as organized. Elected officials haven't appeared with them. We all agree on that. But
it's very different from the Proud Boys because the Proud Boys don't go around burning down cities. The Proud Boys aren't snatching people out of cars. The Proud Boys don't get bussed in to cities just to tear up stuff. Yeah, that's the difference. The Proud Boys don't have people in U-Hauls handing out riot gear. That's the difference. See, so these fools on here are straight propagandists, either on purpose or just by accident. But either way, they're propagandists.
Christopher Wray said, we're seeing people exploiting this situation after George Floyd's murder to pursue violence, extremist agendas, anarchists like Antifa and other agitators.
Again,
there
is no person you can point to and say, oh, that person represents Antifa. Every time they see 4 black people, they think it's Antifa.
No, it's to be honest, it's actually largely white.
See, that just goes to show how dumb Roxanne the Voice is. She's sitting up there looking like Jabba the Mutt. I can't even call her a Hut. Huts would be upset, be like, me, Sir Jabba. You can't call her the cushion a hut. You can't call her a hut. She's a mutt. So Jabba the Mutt is sitting on there talking about with that big old Barney purple on, talking about some, yeah, but you can't find just one person. So what, Whoopi? How do you think they're all getting to these locations? First of all, if they are organized, they're not going to mess around and have one face of this group. These people are going to be just organizers on the down low. And I guarantee you, as you go up the scale, you'll find somebody is donating some resources and money for those buses. Do you think they're coming up with that stuff, Cushion? Haven't you watched all the footage? And obviously you haven't, because most of them are white. And here she is. Anytime somebody see 4 black people, they think they're Antifa. No, they don't. We think they're Black Lives Matter. That's the difference. But Cushion don't even know the difference. Boy.
We said
There are people online who openly identify as Antifa.
Well, they may, and I'm going to say, I think oftentimes things like Antifa are things that are thought up, ideas that are thought up and pushed and moved. Because for me, you know, if Antifa, if we go with the name,
Anti-fascist.
it's anti-fascist.
Right.
Anti-fascist. Now you see these people. If we go with the name, it means anti-fascist. As Antifa practices fascist behavior, but yet they're the anti-fascists. That tells you you can't say what you want to say. You can't wear that MAGA hat. You can't speak at an event. Yeah, the same folks who took over a whole city block or two. Yeah, they're anti-fascists. Don't you know? The name says it all, guys. You know what? I cannot understand how much more dumber these women could be. And I'm not saying that because they're women. I'm saying it because they're dumb. Especially Whoopi Cushion and Big Nose Joy right there. These two are legitimately dumb. They really believe what they're saying.
Oh, I don't know who's doing what. I do know that if you had asked a number of people of color about Tucker Carlson, we could have told everyone what he really felt, and that this wasn't an act.
Right.
This was who he was.
Look, being Hispanic.
So dumb. And now Miss Piggy piggybacks off the dumbness. Miss Piggy is saying, let me come in and piggyback off the dumbness. So now you just heard them defending Antifa. Why is it that Democrats defend criminals? Why is it that they always, for some reason, protect their goons to go out and do their work? So now we got a Hispanic dude who did a mass shooting. And what does Miss Piggy do?
Or being black does not, or being anything, does not make you immune from being racist, from being radicalized, from being a white supremacist, from being evil, from being homicidal. And we are seeing it over and over again.
So there's no escaping the identity politics. There's no escaping systemic racism. No matter what complexion, what race, what gender you are, if you do something that the left is used to accusing conservatives of doing and using it to bludgeon conservatives, if you do something that breaks that stereotype and that narrative, they got to somehow slide you in to the radical extremists on the right that they done made up. So now we got a Mexican dude who did this, and somehow now Miss Piggy is saying, well, that doesn't mean anything. He's still an extremist, white nationalist, racist, or whatever.
There are people, you know, they don't see themselves as what they are.
Yeah. Spit it out.
Had a white supremacy moniker on him. And so, you know, Christopher Wray, these are not my words, so people don't start with the I'm a race baiter crap.
You're a race baiter.
Christopher Wray said that the biggest threat to our democracy is white supremacy.
And you believed him. You believed him, Sonny. That's the funny part. It's funny, Sonny, because you believed him. Funny, Sonny, because she's a dummy. So here's Sonny talking about Christopher Wray said that, and this is how the left been getting away with so much, because see, they will use these institutions that they've co-opted to put out narratives. And these institutions are institutions that you used to trust. Now, if you haven't been seeing what's going on and haven't had your eyes woken up, you might still think the FBI is putting out legitimate information. They don't run false flags. No, they don't create false documents. They don't come up with false narratives about extremism. No, they don't do that. They don't come up with ways to go after and destroy movements. They don't come up with that stuff, even though they did it to Martin Luther King. They did it to the Black Panthers. They did it to Malcolm X. All of them people, JFK, you name it. List goes on. They don't do that stuff. So all I got to do as Christopher Wray is come out and just say that white nationalism and extremism is the greatest threat to the homeland. And instead of you, Sonny the dummy, stopping and saying, hey, for him to make that claim, I need to see more evidence. Show me all of the footage of these white nationalists attacking folks, killing folks, threatening folks. I see a lot of Antifians do that. I see a lot of Black Lives Matter people do that. Yeah, I don't see a lot of conservatives doing that. So show me the footage, the data. Why is it that me, Sonny, who's very wealthy, can walk around unabated? Why aren't all of these extremists attacking me? Why aren't we seeing daily events, daily occurrences, daily news stories of white supremacists and extremists attacking black folks? Why are we seeing that? I mean, heck, Christopher Wray said it was true. Just like they say, you know what? This is a pandemic of the non-vaccinated. And this right here is the biggest. And we didn't see bodies all over the place. Didn't see it. But they told us it was the worst.
And domestic terrorism.
Today, children.
So you see what we're working with, guys? You see what we're up against? That's the fake news, man. Now we're going to close with something that's near and dear to my heart. Because in the next couple of days, America is about to be bombarded. And I'm talking about illegal immigration. Listen to this, y'all.
Will work overnight shifts at slaughterhouses, factories, restaurants to pay their debts to smugglers and traffickers.
What?
Today, children will be sold for sex.
Oh, no.
Today, children will call a hotline to report they are being abused, neglected, and trafficked. Wow. And we don't know if they're going to get the help they need.
Wait. Where's AOC and all white? Where are all the women that was down there weeping in the well when Trump was in office talking about he's keeping kids in cages? Remember that? Remember they was down there boo-hooing and testifying up there? Where are they now? I mean, don't they love the kids?
For nearly a decade, unaccompanied children have been suffering in the shadows. And I have to confess, I knew nothing about their suffering until 2021, when I volunteered to help the Biden administration with the crisis at the southern border. I thought I was going to help place children in loving homes.
Yeah.
Instead, I discovered that children are being trafficked through a sophisticated network that begins with recruiting in home country, smuggling to the U.S. border, and ends when ORR delivers a child to a sponsor. Some sponsors are criminals and traffickers and members of transnational criminal organizations.
All assisted by the Biden administration in mucus. That all of this is enabled by the Biden administration and mucus. That's why they should all be impeached and thrown in jail. Just, to put the cherry on top, impeach and thrown in jail. That's just one more reason Biden should be impeached. He should be impeached for like 7 or 8 things. But nonetheless, all of this time, when you make it easy for these people to come and the cartel is doing this stuff, and you're lying to the American people and saying, these people are only coming because their circumstances. I mean, come on. Why would they even risk their lives to pay the cartel knowing? This only shows how desperate they are. No, it shows that this is a fine-tuned machine. You guys have set up a system that allows it to work that way, and it does, and the cartel's benefiting off of it, and that these people are becoming victims to the cartel, and you're okay with that because it's an acceptable risk and loss so that y'all can get your precious illegal immigrants over here to change the landscape and dynamics of the United States. But yet they care about the kids, right?
Some sponsors view children as commodities and assets to be used for earning income. This is why we are witnessing an explosion of labor trafficking. Now, whether it's intentional or not, it could be argued that the United States government has become the middleman in a large-scale, multi-billion-dollar child trafficking operation.
Y'all hear that? That's what we've become. There you go. I mean, we can't take the moral high ground right about now under this administration on anything. I can't think of any area right now where we can look at another country and say, you know what? You guys need to change your... Nothing. We're destroying our own kids with filling their minds with garbage and making them hate the country. We're desecrating our military, destroying our middle class. We are attacking our own citizens over free speech and all of that stuff and setting them up to be domestic terrorists. All of that crap. We have a broken border on purpose, allowing kids to be trafficked, and we're the brokers. We're the middleman. These cartel members could only do this if they got connections within our government who's allowing this to happen. So we can't really point the finger at anybody right now. We can't even say, China, you use kids for child labor. I don't even want to hear it. I'm embarrassed because I know America's better than that, but not under the Democrats. That's for
It is run by bad actors seeking to profit off of the lives of children.
Wow.
I saw vulnerable indigenous children from Guatemala who speak Mayan dialects and cannot speak Spanish.
Wow.
That means they cannot ask for help in English. They cannot ask for help in Spanish.
Thanks, Mucus.
They become captives of their sponsors. Realizing that we were not offering the children the American dream, but instead putting them in modern day slavery
with
Biden. Wicked overlords.
Thanks, Kamala.
Was a terrible revelation. These children are a captive victim population with no access to law enforcement or knowledge of their rights. They are extorted, abused, neglected. And that is why I blew the whistle in 2021.
Blow the whistle, lady.
People have asked me, what can be done? What would you suggest? Well, first, I think HHS's #1 priority is oversight. They must commit to oversight, transparency, and accountability.
They'll never do it.
I believe if data analysts at the PACE could look at the data, children could be rescued, criminals could be prosecuted if the PACE had access to this data.
They'll never do it because we just heard Mucus a couple weeks ago on my live show. I don't know how many kids are actually missing. We are very diligent about arresting the. He just went round around a mulberry bush and got exposed. All of those spikes in child trafficking and children missing and gotaways and all of that stuff. Mucus was responsible for that along with Joe Biden and the rest of his people because of their horrible priorities. They do not care about these people. And they're always talking about compassion and humane and all of this stuff. And this is what we're facing now that they're about to get rid of Title 42.
So how is the border secure?
So,
Black Age Rock.
as far as the border, we're taking unprecedented action. We had to fix something that was broken, especially by the last administration.
Did you just hear that? Did you just hear that woman get up there in that big old banana suit talking about we're trying to fix something that was broken by the last administration? How so? Why is it that the last administration had a better record? Why is it that those numbers weren't going completely straight up under Trump instead? They were going all the way down. I mean, what's success to you guys? That's what I want to know. Success to y'all is having a more proficient way to get these people into our country faster, building more facilities for them, for housing. See, instead of letting them know, you see us tearing down all of these houses, that's letting you know you're not welcome. Now, we're not running a hotel here. Okay. Yeah, see, when you start building stuff, that means you're preparing for company. That means you're preparing for influx. We want y'all to understand we're not. We might have one room. That's it. So if you come, if two of y'all, I'm sorry, other person got to go back. One room. So here they are just straight lying to us and lying on Trump's administration and saying the border is secure.
You call the border secure?
I think that there is no question
Chameleon.
that we have to do what the president and I asked Congress to do. Is
It's
the
what?
first request we made.
Come on, get that loud.
Pass.
Sociopath, right here.
A bill
A bill.
to create a pathway to citizenship.
See, there you go. That's not solving nothing. So here y'all are saying Congress needs to pass legislation, this and that. What y'all want is Congress to make it very easy for more people to come and make our process looser and give citizenship to all of the 20, 30 million or so that's already in the country. That's what you want. When y'all talk about Congress should pass legislation, we already got laws on the books that would stop illegal immigration. So what are you talking about, Chameleon?
Border is secure.
The border is closed. The border is secure.
Our borders are not open.
First of all, the idea that Joe Biden said come, because I heard the other day that they're coming because they know I'm a nice guy and I won't do what Trump did. Yeah. Well, here's the deal. They're not.
I got a bad feeling about this.
I do too.
At dawn, the migrants covered in blankets stretched for blocks. And tonight, El Paso is under a state of emergency because city officials say they don't have enough resources to handle this.
Unbelievable. Whoa. That's going
Build back better.
Build back better.
Today, we saw that desperation as migrants here scrambled for food and water. We were here several...
Democrats, That's what they want to turn America into, guys. Y'all see that? If I lived down there in El Paso, I would be heated. I'm amazed that the mayor or the governor of Texas is not doing something about this. So all of those people just got dumped right there, right in that city. Change the whole dynamic. That right there will uproot your whole life. You work hard, get your nice little house close by, got you a nice job, and then you wake up and you see this. Now, do you think all of these people that's in that city are there because they want asylum and they're all legit and they're all little angels who come here for just a better life? What happened to all of them being mostly women and young kids? I see a lot of war-age men in this video.
Months ago, and there appear to be many more migrants now. The difference is striking. This group extends all the way around this church.
Look at this.
For several city blocks.
Look at this. That's the wall. Look at this. Watch this. They done got sophisticated. Right on video. Look like King Kong climbing the dang on Empire State Building. Unreal. But our border's secure, according to Mucus. See, what about these getaways? And watch what happens to the person who gets over the wall. One of these people. So they got a little rope. They got a little, what is that, a ladder? Okay. Yeah, now we see how they do it. That's what they're saying right there. Spanish translation. Now,
No, no.
okay.
Esto no es de chanclas.
Bueno, Apple. El clamo. El wallow. Look at them sliding down the other side. But somebody is going to make an error. Look at that. Uh-oh. They don't care. Broad daylight. Broad daylight. Here you go. I'm glad I'm not riding past. I might get out the car and run right over and start dragging them off. Get your tail down. Dang on it. This America. You be coming up in a joint like this. Unbelievable. It's like they're scaling the castle. Uh-oh. Wait. Somebody ain't gonna make it. Wait. They're desperate. Oh, okay. One person made it. Took off. Right. Now they're an American. Look at that. That's how you become an American. Just jump over
Take
here.
a look at the top of your screen.
Oh, look
right
at that.
there. Yep. That's an illegal immigrant falling 30 feet while trying to climb over the border in California. He was airlifted to the hospital.
On our expense. There you have it. You break our laws, airlift you to a hospital, absorb the bills, pay for you, even though you shouldn't have been over here. Even though you shouldn't have been over here. Now, you're telling me that our border is secure. These folks right here are doing this because they're going, you know what? We can. Even if we get caught, that's cool too. They'll take me, get me patched up, give me some Vatican care like Joe Biden said, and probably let me hang out for a couple years and with the nothing but a little card saying, come back to court. Welcome to America. Huh.
All is that high for a reason, and that is a long way down.
Oh, look at this. Look at this, guys. Border is secure, y'all.
It is my testimony that the border is secure.
We have a secure border.
Look at that.
And that is a priority for any nation, including ours and our administration.
We have taken unprecedented action over the past year and a half to secure our border.
And we have a process in place to manage migrants at the border. We're working to make sure it's safe and orderly and humane.
The border is closed.
We agree that the border is secure.
We're executing a comprehensive strategy to secure our border.
Nothing burns me up more than this right here, man. This is... as they're lying straight to our face. All of these people are abusing the system. And it's not just them people, it's our Democrats. They're only abusing it because we got corrupt, stinking politicians that are doing exactly what we're watching. Our border is secure. As we are watching these people say, F your border, it's embarrassing. It's, you know what, it's almost like a direct threat to your sovereignty. They're just saying, I don't care. Y'all got borders, man. Forget that. We coming anyway. I would jump over this. I run through a great lake. I do whatever. What y'all gonna do? Now, granted, the only reason they're doing this is because they know that they can. If they knew that it was a risk coming across, not getting to the border, the biggest risk for them is getting to the border. The easy part is coming across. But if they knew that it was a risk coming across, meaning stop, you will be shot if you keep coming. Let that happen. You think people be sending their kids by themselves? You think people will be jumping over walls if that mug was filled with electricity and blades and sensors and shaped a way that is harder to just put a little ladder and slide down the other end? You think they'd still be coming if they knew the dude to get across this border could cost me my life? Nobody's doing that to Russia. Nobody's doing that to China, North Korea, or any other country because they know that you might get shot coming across the border. You come the right way, knock on somebody's window and say, I'm here for asylum. That's what you do. And even then, Russia probably would say, you leave, go, get away. We don't want more people. You're American, don't trust you. Maybe spy. But here's what they're doing on our border, right up under our funky politicians' nose.
One of our highest priorities is to ensure that we have a secure border. And that is what we are doing.
Thank you.
The border is secure.
There is already reports of Brownsville, Texas right now, shelters are overwhelmed. The cities of Chicago and New York are already overwhelmed.
Yep.
What's May 12th going to look like if we're already overwhelmed before
May 12th is coming, y'all.
Title 42?
A few things, Chuck. First of all, this is a really tough challenge and has been, as we all recognize, for years and years.
No, it hasn't. You did this, Mucus. You did this. Few things, Chuck. He's talking faster than I've ever heard him talk. Why doesn't he talk in complete sentences and faster when he's getting bombarded and beat up by Ted Cruz and all of them? Few things, Chuck. This has been going on for years.
We are seeing a level of migration, not just at our southern border, but throughout the hemisphere that is unprecedented.
No, that's not true. Not just at our sort of southern border. Listen to the excuses that these folks use for all of these people migrating here. They are belittling our intelligence to the nth degree. So now he's talking about the whole hemisphere. All right, then why isn't all of these people flocking to get to dang on Canada? That's what I want to know. If for whatever reason this is some virus or disease that makes people just start migrating, why are we migrating to Mexico? Why isn't that our citizens aren't affected by the migration disease?
It is, I think, the greatest migration in our hemisphere since World War II. The president on day one delivered a solution. He delivered immigration.
Search the border. That's what it was. Let's get rid of all the things that discouraged them that Trump had in place on day one. That's not even, mentioning the fact that during the debates, he said, I tell them to search the border.
Reform legislation that we had hoped Congress would act on swiftly.
Yeah, you took away all the things that kept these folks from coming. Talking about we reform legislation and hope Congress would, knowing that Congress is not going to move on this. This burns me up, man. You know Congress is not going to move on it because of what you guys want to happen. That is why if we win back the House, we win back the Senate, and we win back the presidency, and we have a super majority, we need to go ahead and say, we are going to change these policies, and we don't need your votes. We don't need your votes. I don't want to even have to negotiate with these raggedy dang on Democrats concerning our border. And then I will go and pass legislation to go and get all these people out of the country.
They haven't. Within the constraints of a broken immigration system, we are doing so.
It's difficult to describe, Jim, with words, so I want to walk so you can walk with me and just see the magnitude of the number of individuals who are around this church here, just streets from downtown El Paso. A lot of these individuals you'll see are males, adult males. A lot of the women with children are actually in shelters and a network of shelters throughout El Paso. As you mentioned, the city of El Paso under a state of emergency. They declared a disaster because of the influx, because they know that once Title 42 lifts, that there is going to be a greater influx of migrants. But here's the thing, so process this with me. Title 42 allows immigration agents to swiftly return migrants back to Mexico. So the obvious question, as you look around, is then why are there so many migrants if the federal government is actually implementing this Title 42? Then why are there...
Yeah. See, so all these policies they're rolling back are bringing more people. By the way, somebody asked about my P.O. box. If you are needing my P.O. box, it is P.O. Box 2156. And the zip code is 44504. That is 2156 44504. With somebody, if you remembered that, please put it in the chat, because somebody was inquiring about the P.O. box. Now, y'all hear that? Even CNN is going, now wait, if it's secure, I mean, why are y'all doing this, man? This looks like Calcutta. This looks like somewhere that ain't America. That's what it looks like.
There's so many migrants out here. Well, here's what we know. From talking to migrants and community leaders and officials on both sides of the border, I can tell you that thousands of migrants, nearly 40,000, are in at least 4 northern Mexican cities, and frustration is boiling over. A lot of them are deciding to cross the border. That's why you see so many out here. Some of them are turning themselves in to border authorities, Jim. Others are deciding to cross the border illegally because they've lost patience.
Somebody hold me down. Somebody hold me down. So let me get this straight. Some just went right up to him and said, I'm here for asylum. I'm not even going to try to sneak across. Back in the day, we had to sneak. We don't need to do that no more. Thanks to Biden's administration. They told us to come. That's why we got shirts printed saying, Biden, we're coming to America. So now we want to get some asylum. And could you fly me around to some places where I want to see my friends and want some Fedicaf care and make sure I get some community college and a cell phone, please. Underlay. Some people went that route. And then the others was like, they're taking too long. It's hot, man. I'm just going to run right over there and go off into America. This is a shame. I mean, it makes us look so weak. And we know we're not weak. We can stop people from coming across our border, but these folks are doing this on purpose. They have betrayed our country. This right here is a mess. Do you understand? 40,000 people in multiple locations right now. Multiple locations.
Here's some more independent footage, which is even worse. And so there's what Joe Biden saw, and then there's the actual reality of his border policies. You know, if you're implementing policies, if you're making decisions, you should probably know what the actual outcome is. But no, of course not. Joe's not doing anything, not taking anything seriously. And as the problem is now expected to surge, even MSNBC's reporting on it.
Next week, they're already at capacity in their shelters here in these processing centers.
Look at that. Isn't that a beautiful scene right there, guys? Coming to America, man. Yeah, this the new coming to America. Laid out, just sleeping on the sidewalk out there, all coming here for political asylum somehow. Political asylum. From what? When I found out that Mucus went ahead and labeled having a fear of gang violence is now one more qualification for political asylum. What he did by doing that is pretty much said any reason is okay now. Any reason. Do you understand? There should be a very small group of reasons that you should be able to claim asylum. And really, it should be, I'm being persecuted for my political beliefs or my religious beliefs. But gang violence, economics, these are things that your government should solve. Not to mention, you shouldn't walk through 3 or 4 countries to get to our border. And then another thing, I'm going to tell you another thing, is why are people from other continents coming? How are they getting here? They're not walking up from Guatemala. When I see some Asian dudes coming across, folks from India, folks from Haiti, Russia.
But it's expected to get far beyond that. In fact, we have heard estimates north of 10,000 migrants crossing per day. But some things have changed in recent years. For example, this area behind me has seen thousands of migrants crossing over the Rio Grande every day. The kind of numbers that would have led to those masses that we saw under the bridge in Del Rio, Texas, just 2 years ago.
Yep, and you know what's changed? Is Democrats got in power. And they said, you know what? We got to make up for lost time. Trump slowed it down. And so now we got to go ahead and just break it wide open. Let them come. Because, hey, who knows? We might lose the presidency. So before that happens, let's go ahead and get about another 20,000 of them over here. And then we'll have no choice but to negotiate asylum for about 40, 50,000 illegal immigrants.
But now they're getting them out quickly. Buses and buses keep coming by here, taking migrants away. What do you think of the...
What changed? What made that change, lady? This acting dumb. Something has changed. The Bidens got in office. And then this fool. Listen to this Democrat try to explain why such an uptick.
The president's approach to what is happening at the border.
Well, House Democrats want order at the border. We want asylees treated with dignity and respect.
Meaning, let them come in. Asylees treated with dignity and respect. What does that mean? You're not treating our border with dignity and respect. You guys aren't treating our intelligence with dignity and respect by trying to tell us these people are all coming here because they have a credible threat. Why don't we funnel them right into this dude's neighborhood?
But we also understand the importance of making investments to ensure that that happens.
What kind of investments, huh? See, when you say dignity and respect, what you're saying is let them all come into the country. And what we want to do is invest in more folks that can process them quicker. We don't want to invest in building the wall. No. We don't want to invest in more troops to stop them. No. We don't want to put policies in place that will plug this mess up. We don't want that. We don't want that. We don't want to demand that Mexico keeps these folks there. See, because Mexico ain't going to have it. We saw what happened when they were all in Tijuana. Those Mexicans had a fit. But this fool up here talking about we want more resources to make that happen. Basically, more judges, more activists, more folks to process them in quicker.
What House Democrats want to also make sure that we focus on are these root causes of migration.
Root causes, y'all. We want to focus on the root causes. What could that be? It's crime down there in South America. And they're like, you know what? It's too much crime. We're coming to America. Remember Joe Biden? Yeah, we do things like, put up street lights and stuff. Because it's street lights. That helps. We don't know what's driving these people here. So the root causes. Y'all ready for some gaslighting that will blow your mind? Listen to this man's root causes and then we're done. 29 seconds of this garbage.
People are fleeing in difficult and dangerous conditions. They're fleeing economic issues.
Difficult and dangerous situations and economic issues. We got that here in Democrat-ran cities. There are people over in Chicago, St. Louis, Los Angeles. I showed it on my live stream, I think the last time or two, where these folks were just burning up stuff, breaking into stuff, robbing, stealing. Look at New York. It's a mess. Okay, dangerous situations. Folks are struggling financially here as well. But you don't see us running across the border. That's not a reason to go in somebody else's country. And what other things?
They're fleeing because of climate change. And
Oh my God. Did you just hear this fool? Did you just hear this fool say that they're fleeing because of climate change, y'all? Climate change. Can you believe he just said that? So I guess, y'all, the climate change doesn't affect the U.S. It only affects South America. So that cloud of climate change right over South America, they're going, if we can just make it to America, there's no cloud of climate change there. Now, I'm sure it rains down there in the South America area. I'm sure there's a lot of coffee beans being produced, some bananas, lots of fruit. Okay. But here's this guy saying because of climate change, and this is why.
Aren't able to farm the land that they used to farm.
There you go. Climate change, they're not able to farm the land that they used to farm. So apparently, these last 20 or 30 years of y'all letting these folks come over here and violate our border this whole time have been because of climate change. They can't, that's why we buy so much of our stuff from down there. We get a lot of stuff from South America. So since when did this climate change kick in to where they can't farm the land? Or could it be Why work hard farming your land down there, making about 75 cents an hour, when you can just come to America, cross our border, and make maybe $5-6 an hour, which is not a lot, but compared to 75 cents an hour or so, working down there, so and then shipping the goods here. Let me just go there, work a job under the table, get paid cash, make some money, send some down to my family, so then I can get them to come. I can sponsor them too, get them to come. And the Democrats will protect us and give us benefits and baby food and cell phones and fly us around in the middle of the night on jumbo jets and lie to their own people by saying climate change. Yeah, they're scared. Economic issues. I wish I was interviewing this bum, but instead he got some other operatives like Mika and Joe, who's sitting here trying to pretend that what this guy just said could be a possibility. He ain't telling you no statistics. He ain't giving you no examples. That man just looked us in the face and said, like climate change, they can't till the lands anymore. Like what? How? Where? Show me how that's real. That's what I want you to do.
Right, John.
There you go. They allow these liars to get on these networks and lie straight to us. Thank God we do have a couple platforms, and I hope Elon and Tucker do some things with Twitter. And I gotta keep tiptoeing around this stupidity on YouTube. Burns me up, man. But hey, it is what it is. Hey, I'm gonna start uploading some other videos y'all haven't seen onto Rumble. One is getting uploaded tonight. So if you haven't subscribed to my Rumble channel, please do. If you have not subscribed to the new channel that I am growing, please do. I thought I pasted it in the link, but apparently I saw it there for a second, then it disappeared somehow. I don't know how, but it just disappeared. So if that is the case, I'll try it one more time before we get out of here and see if it shows up. Okay, all right. Hey, I see myself as I look at myself. Okay, here we go. All right, it should be pink right now. All right, I see it. It's KC 2.free. Right there, I just posted it, and there's the link. So if you see that, click on that link. Why ain't I see it pop up? Why ain't I see it? I just saw it. Now, why ain't it there? I see it on my end. Why don't y'all see it? Anyway, it's KC 2.0. I'm chatting from that link right there. I don't know why the link's not showing. It's not like I got a restriction on it. Burns me up, man. YouTube's been doing a lot of funny stuff. But anyway, thanks for watching the show. If you follow me on Facebook, you also can find that link. I'm posting it on Facebook. I just can't post it on Kevin's Corner yet because then they'll make the connection. All right. So please just check it out. I will post it under the regular videos. Like after this is finished, after the super chat's done, I will go to the regular comments and I will post it. So when I post it in the regular comments, you'll see it. So when we get done with this chat and it ends, I'll also post it in the regular comments, okay? So God bless y'all. God bless America. Thanks for kicking it with me tonight. Don't forget, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Rumble. Check out the other links to my podcast and subscribe to all my channels. Dang on it. Never know. Right about now, I'm playing tic-tac-toe, trying to avoid the stupidity. And don't forget about tomorrow night. That's going to be great. I can't wait to see that debate. We're going to see just how it turns out. All right. So God bless y'all. We'll see y'all next time in Kevin's Corner. Take care. I'm so mad about that stupid. This is our city. Our coast. Got it. Round golf ropes. Yeah. Dang on it. God bless. Take care.